What is on top of the deck? What is on top of the deck? Oh, it's Lightning Helix! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Welcome to Hunt the Week.
Hello everyone and welcome into the show. Welcome in each one of all of you relic hunters, archaeologists, and even you adventurers. Yes, I welcome all of you to the show. I do not discriminate. Why would I? I need all the listens I can get, and if I start, singling out certain groups of players or people, oh, my number's going to go from 20 down to 15, down to 10, and I can't handle that. I can't deal with it. I really can't. I am your host with the most, your Don John DeMarco. I am a 3-time top 8er, a 2-time league winner, and 1 time I won a festival in a box playing Magic Arena. Yes, it's true, I did. I've actually never won anything off Arena. I used to cash out sets for real sets in Magic Online. I loved it that they did that. But no, I've never money cashed. I've never cashed on the Arena Opens. I have day 2'd, and I have won back a good amount of gems, but I've never won any cash. And this was my first monetary prize, really, that I've won. Just did a single entry. I love Chaos. They were doing Chaos Sealed. Went 7-1 with a red-black deck, and I won a festival in a box. Funny story, I actually purchased same festival in a box. I already own it, and I've been opening up all the packs. Comes with 24 random draft packs. Kind of just a mix of stuff to do chaos drafts with, right? And then it's a box of mystery boosters, a secret layer, some fun bonuses. But I've been opening up my 24 packs like an advent calendar. Haven't hit anything great. But it's just fun. I love cracking packs. Who doesn't, right? I don't get to do it very much these days. And now I got 24 more packs coming I get to open. And a mystery booster box I can throw in my closet. And maybe one day I'll do a draft with friends and open it. But really, I'll probably wait 10 years and just watch that thing collect dust. This is Hunt the Week. It is a weekly Magic the Gathering podcast about the sealed Arena Gauntlet League that we love and play in. And this is Lost Caverns of Ixalan Week 5, and we got a good one to talk about this week. I'm in good spirits. I'm happy. Let's go ahead and let's start digging.
Digging in the dirt, digging in the dirt, digging in the dirt, digging in the dirt. We're moving the earth. It's hard work, hard work, hard work. Digging in the dirt.
That's right. As I record, this is your Lost Caverns top 8. Number 1, Jordan M. JM Tron, 19-5. Number 2, Caleb G. Why Not, 19-6. Duncan M. Rob Roy Duncan, 18-7. Adam S. Wisma, 17-7. Joaquin E. 17-8. Chris P. Joker 01, 16-8. Chris Y. York on Game, 16-9. Xiao L. Tamamo. One day you're going to come on the pod. You're going to tell me how to pronounce this. I promise. Yeah, let's take a look at it. And of course, we got to talk about our 5-0s this week. We got Chris P. Joker 01, currently sitting at 5-1 on the week. Still has a game to play. Well, a phenomenal effort to come in with, 7 games to play this week. You win 5 in a row. I can only imagine, that's got to be hard. I can only imagine it being harder if you were you came into the week at 10-10. And every game was a death match. You couldn't lose. Oh, hey, look at this. John P. Goku or Go Home 5-0. Wow, look at that. And I got to give a special shout out to Bob. Hit 08120, who went 4-1 also on his death matches. Bob, feels so good, doesn't it? It feels so good to wasn't expecting it. Let's break it down. That's right. I went 5-0 this week. I came in on death matches 10-10. Had actually won 2 death matches on my way out of week 4. So came into this week on a 2-game winning streak. Went 5-0, currently 7-0 in my last 7 games. 1 loss and I'm out. But I went from, at one point, my worst record this league was 3-6. Currently sitting at 15-10. What a turnaround. And boy, do I feel great about it. And I want to talk about what changed. What happened and what led me to such a good week, because again, I am the everyman. Every person in this league should be able to 5-0 a week, and every person should be able to 0-5 a week. I've had my 0-5s; they're not fun. And this 5-0, it feels so good, but those 0-5s, they feel so bad. So when I was 3-6 at my worst this league, I was playing a different deck. I was on blue, red, and then I'm currently on red, green. So I think something that really helped me out was finding the right deck. I think I found the right deck. I found the deck I'm supposed to be playing. I'm fine. I found the deck that's winning. Right, the other deck wasn't winning games, and it looked good. That deck I think looked fine. And I don't even know that this deck looks amazing, but it just plays. It's a lot of ramp, a lot of 6-drops, a lot of those. I got 3 frogs. I'm ramping on 2. I'm ramping on 3. I'm getting to 5 and 6 drops. I'm playing magmatic galleons. I got 2 of them. Those things have been great. But I think just finding the right deck. And how did I find the right deck, right? Because I think that's hard. Like, how do you know what's the right deck? Because I couldn't figure it out, and I was having a really tough time. And that's when I asked Joaquin and one Adam S. Wisma. I guess I didn't really ask them. I posted in Cody's super secret server, and I said, hey, here's my deck. I'm not doing great. Somebody help me out. And both those guys, gave me some great ideas for what the deck should be and how to build it. And I basically just copy and pasted one of them, made a couple changes, and from then on, I've been on a tear, right? Again, from 4-6 to 15-10. So that's 11-4 since that happened, which is just, oh man, didn't think I'd make it to week 5 even. I didn't think I'd make it to top 8, and now I am currently sitting in 13th place, looking at a top 16 finish. I could get knocked out, but it would actually be kind of hard. I've got a great OMW, and I have the chance to make top 8, right? I'm not going to go 5-0, but if I go 5-0 this week, I might be in. But if even I get like a couple wins out the door, 3 wins with my OMW, it might be enough. So never give up, right? I was kind of down on my performance early on. Go back and listen to week 2, where I'm maybe not doing so good. And now I'm sitting here going, you know what? I actually could top 8 this thing. I there's a chance, right? I went from I don't even think I'll get my $10 back to there's a chance I could top 8, and a very, very good chance I'm gonna double my money, just with some good playing and some help from the rest of the league. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for a second set of eyes on your deck and to get some outside opinions. Because we got a lot of great players in here, especially people that just like to look at decks and build. There's people that's all they want to do, and I appreciate them, because without them, I wouldn't be here anymore. I would have a worse record. But yeah, this is week 5. We're going into week 6. Week 6 is different. Week 6 is hard. Week 6 is not fun for some people. Some people that have been doing really great might fall out of top 8 and miss their chance. And some people who, are on the outside looking in could squeak their way into a mega draft. Get your games in early. Play your games early. You don't have to play anybody you don't want to play. And just play your games. Don't wait to get your games in. Give yourself a chance. Richard's doing feature matches. Sign up for those. They're on Friday, so if you sign up for one of those, you're at least getting a game in, right? All I need's one if it's a loss. But hey, like I said, I'm on a tear. I'm trying to finish this thing strong, and I'm trying to prove that I'm one of the bad boys of the AGL. I'm gonna get that leather jacket made for me and a couple other people. And because the league is so helpful and so wonderful and full of so many nice people, I was able to bring on a guest this week from the league who's doing well, who could be on the way to their first mega draft if all things go right. Let's go ahead and start the discovery.
How can we stand in the light of discovery and not act?
Yes, everyone, I had on not a new player, but newish. They've been around. This is their 3rd league, and they're sitting up there right now in 5th place. Joaquin E., who is 17-8, came on the podcast. Joaquin's 4-1 this week. Oh, they've been up there in the top 8 a lot. And I don't know what to say about them. I'm going to let them speak for themselves, but they were a joy to talk to, and so happy I had them on the show. Go ahead and listen to my interview with Joaquin now. All right, everyone. Join me as we start the discovery one last time here on Lost Caverns of Ixalan with none other than Joaquin E. Is it E? Joaquin E., yes. A.k.a. Diabolic Machine. Welcome to the show, Joaquin.
Thank you. So glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Hey, Happy to have you. Thank you for coming on. And you're going on a nice little tear. You're doing well. Still currently in the top 8, right?
Yes, yeah, currently at number 4, but there's a few people that could catch me this week, so we'll see.
It all comes down to next week anyway. Next week is this going to be your first week 6?
Yes, yeah.
Oh,
It's only my third league, and I've never made it past week 4. I don't think so.
oh,
Yeah, very excited to be here.
awesome. Well, we're going to talk about that a little bit because I got to give you the week 6 primer. Week 6 is it's a different beast. We'll talk about that. But before we get there, I want to know, when did you start playing Magic?
Oh, well, it originally goes way back. Actually, I was 8 years old, and for Christmas, I got a starter deck of 5th edition gifted to me.
Oh,
So
wow.
I think, that puts the date at about where you'd think. It was around Exodus block or so, and really went from there. I played as a child, played really casual kitchen table Magic with friends up through high school. But it was always pretty casual, decks of whatever size, cards from whatever era. And then really kept it going throughout maybe first year of college. And then I dropped it, left for a long time. And I didn't really come back until the pandemic around 2020. So when everyone was stuck inside. So, really, and since then I've really dived all the way in and gone full speed ahead. So, it's a wonderful hobby, and glad to be, have picked it back up in the last few years here.
Well, no spoilers for Johnny's question, but he did peg you. Yeah, right on the bat with how'd you get into the game, how'd you get out of the game, and how'd you get back into the game.
That's right.
We'll get to that one later. But yeah, that seems to be the classic move. Is everyone has some kind of affinity for it at a young age, right? And then they leave, they come back, and was limited always your thing after the pandemic, or what made you want to be a limited player?
Oh, it was really not. When I was, a child and young adult growing up,
Sure,
I did play some limited sometimes. It was by far mostly kitchen table constructed
sure.
Magic. I have a few distinctive memories of me and my best friend going to the game store at 10 or 12 years old and getting stomped in a draft by, some adults. We had a good time, and it was all good. But no, it was really mostly constructed when I came back to it in 2020. Even, I mean, of course, I went to pre-releases.
Sure.
I always knew what those were. Did seal deck with that. When I came back to it, I was still, mostly into constructed, and it was really, arena and how the availability of drafts really got me into limited. That's being able to draft whenever you want. Just like, 12-year-old me would have thought that was incredible. Yeah. So yeah, it was I think when I started, I was mostly constructed with doing a few drafts here and there, and
Sure.
so in the past few years, it's kind of shifted all the way to where now I'm big limited junkie.
I
Play,
love it.
on Magic Online, doing the cubes over there, like really only play constructed a little bit now, and I'm mostly all the way in unlimited.
What's your do you have a constructed deck you play right now?
Right now, no. I the most recent thing I was doing is Azorius Soldiers in Standard for
Sure.
a little bit.
Okay.
I was playing that one a little bit, checking that out, but really mostly just to get a feel for what Standard is like. It's kind of I'm not boycotting Constructed. I would certainly go back if it was an exciting environment, but
Yeah.
as things are now, it's kind of like I draft and draft and draft, and if I'm tired of the current set, then I go see what other sets are there. Is there another Premier Draft available on Arena? Is there something on Magic Online? And then I think from there, if there's nothing interesting there, I will go play a different game to see what other games they have. And then if there's really no other interesting games, or maybe I don't want to shell out $60 for a new game, then maybe I'll try Constructed. So
Yeah,
it's just,
I have
it
to
ends
be
up a little dire.
I have to be in dire straits to be playing constructed. The other day we had this new bug out where I couldn't open Arena after the cons came out. There was a bug where
Oh,
I couldn't do anything. Like my account was bugged, so I had to make a new account. And I was playing some constructed, and I was like, I can't do this. I can't grind constructed for draft. I can't do it. It's too hard.
yeah. That's how it started. But they get you, they get you.
Yeah, once you get hooked, man, draft is the best. I think you're in a good place. If you like to play limited and limited is your format, you have come to the right place, my friend.
Absolutely. No, it's a great league that we all have here. Like really excited to be part of it. And in general, everything I love about limited. It's like in limited, the games are always unique. You get to see
Yeah.
certain cards that you don't see. And like I didn't realize this my first league in, but really the 60 card decks are great for that reason because they make you play even cards that you're not going to see, in a normal 40 card draft when you're
Oh
trying to
man.
opt.
I can't tell you how many 40 card drafts I've done where like I get a sweet planeswalker and I don't see it once all night. And yeah, these 60
Yeah.
card decks, there are cards in my deck I haven't seen in like 2 weeks probably. Like there's tons of cards in there. Uh I just want the good ones. That's all I care about.
Right?
But you've made it to the league, so we got to talk about Lost Caverns of Ixalan because, like you said, currently sitting here in fourth place on Path One, you are an adventurer. I'd like to know
Yes.
what made you want to pick Path One. Can you tell me a little bit about your deck and what's helping you do so well?
Yeah, definitely. So my deck is Rakdos Descend deck, splashing some white for Devil Cavalcade Sunborn, as well as one or two removal spells. And that's really, yeah, I kind of built it from, having the best commons and uncommons, the deepest colors in my pool, and kind of went from there.
Nice.
It's really it's a good deck because it can attack from a few different angles. It can be aggressive. The curve pretty much stops at 4, so you can curve out 1, 2, 3, 4.
Mhm.
You can there's a couple things that if the board stalls out, it's got some cards that can tap 2 artifacts or creatures and get some value, and then the big thing is the 4 drops. Like that's I'm a little bit jammed at the 4 drop spot, but the card quality there is very good. I've got Devil Chupacabra,
Ooh.
Devil Starving Revenant, which is the two
Oh, the
black
rare.
black 4/4 that lets you look at 2 cards and you can draw them for 3 life if you want to, and if not,
Sure.
they go in the graveyard. And then once you get to Descend 8, every time you draw a card, it drains the opponent for 1. Devil Cavalcade Sunborn, like I said. So yeah, I mean, I think that's really about it. It's like plan it if the opponent's not pressuring, with the right starts, I can pressure. But if if the board stalls out, it's about getting to the 4 drop, maximizing those 4 drops, and then from there, maximizing Descend. And it's got a lot of ways to draw and discard, to both turn on Descend and churn through your deck and get the cards that matter.
I'm gonna actually pull back up to a conversation me and you had. We played a practice game in November,
Yeah,
November 20th, and I said to you, your deck descends so much, best descend I've seen yet. You know, and
yeah.
I remember that game. Your deck was just it was so fast. You were descending every turn, like multiple cards. I was so impressed, even back then. And this was what three weeks ago I was talking to you about how good your descend deck was. I can only imagine now that thing is just humming when it gets
Yeah,
going.
well, actually, when we played the practice match, that was a little bit different of a build than I
Was
am
it?
running right now. Yeah, that was with some blue green, and that was like, early on, and thanks for the practice match because that definitely helped me iron some
Oh yeah,
things
for
out.
sure.
I played one league match with that deck also and lost, and really realized that it was correct to go back to black red because that one could descend even more. That was turbo descend. In blue, it's got all kinds of tools to just dump cards in your deck. But I found out it was kind of all in on that, and it was even tough to maximize the value of that. It was really just able to dump cards in your graveyard. That's about it. Whereas this one, really, it's got a bunch of removal spells which are very good, and it can attack from a
Oh
few
yeah.
different angles, not just the descend one. So yeah, I messed around with that in the beginning, and yeah, I think that speaks back to our previous point. It was like I built the black red deck, and I was already on the fence about not including blue because I had some of the water wind scouts or the 1 mana 1/1 that makes a map token. I'm like, these are good cards, but blue's a little shallow. And then in one of the punishment packs, I opened the blue god, and I'm like, okay, well now I
Ooh.
gotta try and put blue together. But I quickly realized, and I think this league has really made me realize that your commons and uncommons are where it's at. Like if you get a bomb rare, like you said, you might not see it for 2 weeks. It's really, the average card quality is much more important than your top end of top end. So yeah, I think that quickly I realized it was correct to go back to black red, have the tools to deal with opponents' threats, and really be able to answer in a lot of different ways.
And you don't have that big dumb demon, do you? Do you have that big dumb demon?
The 8 mana one.
Yeah.
Yeah. That brings the graveyard back.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
do.
Of course you do. Everybody
I
that's doing good has that stupid demon.
I've never cast it,
Wow,
and
really?
I've never cast it, and I'm not 100% sure that it's right to have it in my deck all the time. It's kind of awkward, because otherwise my curve actually does stop at 4 mana, right?
Yeah,
So
so pretty
you curve out
aggressive,
at four,
right?
and then you're trying to hit this 8 drop, which, and like I've had a couple times in hand, thinking like, maybe I can almost get there, but in those games, either I win and I don't need it, or it's to where I lose before I can cast it. So it's there for now. Maybe it'll come out in some games, but I do have
That card is my biggest groan from this set because
it.
there are so many games where I have one. They're at two, and my board is huge, right? And then they cast that dumb demon, and the game's just over. I'm like, I got back 2 creatures, and you got back 13 or something.
Yeah, yeah, and when they've got ETB effects on them too, like
Yeah, it's
getting,
oh,
yeah,
and not a lot of graveyard hate in this set, right? Like there's very
yeah,
little graveyard, like there's very little way to punish descend, right? Like it's hard to do. Um,
right,
so it's oh I lost to that demon. I didn't lose the match, but I lost the game to that demon this week,
nice.
and it was it's just a groaner, man. I will be so happy when that card is not being played anymore.
Yeah,
But
not too much longer.
you're doing great. You're making it to week 6. What's your current record?
It is 16-8 right now.
16-8. So by my math, you still have games to play this week.
I still have one game to play. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I was looking at the list of possible opponents, potentially hoping to avoid Cody Race. I've already played a game against him in his Defense of the Heart
Oh yeah.
into Kalani's Hatcher and Dreadmaw. Like that's not too fun. Hoping to avoid that at least this week. Maybe in week 6 I have to, but so
Kalani's Hatcher. That's also up there with like rares that I've seen
yeah.
too many times this league, and it's that's all. That one's a little easier to beat than the demon, but it's still hard to beat that stupid card. That card does too much. Does way too much.
Yeah, no, agreed. So going back to the path, you asked me about which path I chose.
Yeah,
I'm currently on the adventurer's path, which I did some math. Like I was really unsure at first. They seem to all have good payoffs, and in fact, the other two seem to have better kind of rares at the end, or like payoffs waiting for you at the end. But adding it up, the adventurer's path had way more map tokens, which is what I really decided was the most important. Because like how often do you get a punishment pack where you're like, I can do nothing with this, or like like maybe I got one card that's slightly better than one card in my deck, and I really thought that would be good value to be able to reroll, especially the non LCI packs, to really try and come up with something good. And then it's definitely been good so far.
How have your rerolls gone? Have you been rerolling? Are you happy with your choice to reroll? Do you have any maps left?
Yeah, I've been re-rolling. I'm not. I would have to check if I have a map left or if I am gonna get one more, but it's
Mhm.
something like that. I've been re-rolling. The first time it went very well. I got a Brothers War pack that had absolutely nothing I could use, and I re-rolled that into Wilds of Eldraine, and
Nice.
it's been good. I picked up Kellen, like the two in a red double striker that has the adventure to search up an equipment and
Yep.
then buffs your team if it's a gem they're equipped. I got Collector's Vault, which has just been incredible for the descent.
Yeah.
Lets you descend every turn, lets you fix your mana, lets you make artifacts that you can sacrifice to things. It's been
Yeah,
very good.
that seems like a good one here. Just descend and make a mana. Like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah, and then rat out for the sideboards. That was a very solid pack. That was probably my best reroll. And
Nice.
then even though I wasn't expecting it when I first went down the path, I manifested a vampire on step 5 of the path, and it
Uh-huh.
was Falcon the Aristocrat.
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah, if people aren't familiar, it's a 2 black red or 1 haste. You can sacrifice a creature to give it indestructible, and if it's a human, it gets a 1/1 counter. Like that card's been beating for me too.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Your deck sounds very fast and very scary. Bad to be only played in practice matches.
Well, we'll see, man. Maybe next week.
Yeah, we've made it. We've both made it to week 6. So let's give you a quick week 6 primer because week 6 is very different. Week 6, play your games very early. If you wait till like Tuesday, Wednesday, usually it's really hard to find games after like Monday. People will use the bot less. There's a lot more direct messaging to set up games in the last week. Um, People can say no to games. If someone's in ninth place and they want to play you and you're in top 8, you can say no and say, if you beat me, I lose top 8. I'm not going to play you. It's totally okay to do that. Like, um, that being said, a lot of the really nice guys will say, I'm not supposed to play you, but I don't want you to get shut out, so I'll give you a game. So that's more of a I don't know, that's more of an internal quandary for you. Are you the kind of person that's going to shut people out to win? Some people do. You're the kind of person that's going to say, hey, I'll give you a game even if it means I get knocked out. Some people do. It's kind of how do you want to roll? What else is weird about week 6? You have to play all your games.
Oh, I was wondering that. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't sit there and be like, hey, I'll take entropy in this or like I'll try to avoid entropy. Entropy comes for everybody in the last week, so you have to play all 5 games in your last week. So you can't.
And does it add up? So like if I didn't play a match this week, I would have to play 6 games next week.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And you do not want to leave games going into week 6 because games can be hard to find. Like I know there are people that make week 6 and don't look till Wednesday and they just don't get games because everyone gets either knocked out quick or like gets their games in real fast. So
Yeah.
like don't be sitting around and be like, man, if I would have played 2 days earlier, I would have been in, but now I can't find anyone to play. You don't want that. You don't want to be that guy, especially in your first week 6. You know, it's a feel bad, and you don't want to feel bad. I don't want you to feel bad. You're a very nice guy, and your deck's good. So give yourself every chance you can to make top 8. Like win percentage gets super important. The OMW, like those tiebreakers, really come in. So like, I don't know, man. It gets hard. Week 6 is hard, and also it's week 6. It's only the best people are left with only the best decks. Like there's no easy game. Everybody's a Cody in week 6, right? Like everybody's a Cody. You're a Cody. I'm a Cody. Cody's Cody. It's very hard. Week 6 is very hard.
Yeah, sounds brutal.
Well, Joaquin, I would love to know, since you are, it seems like you played Magic early, but then you missed a lot of sets. There in the middle. Do you have a favorite limited format?
Oh, definitely. It's Kaldheim, hands
Ooh,
down. Uh,
why? What about Kaldheim? Snowlands.
yes, yeah, Snowlands were great. I love that conceit of having to draft the Snowlands and then whatever payoffs you can get, like you have available based on how well you've drafted the Snowlands. They really enable some wild stuff, some like 3 color, 4 color, 5 color good stuff. But at the same time, red white aggro, which is a deck that I love, was also tier 1, so it really kept people in check and kept people from dirtling around too much. You've got some tribal decks, you've got giants in blue red, you've got elves in green black. And the flavor, I thought, 10 out of 10, just this beautiful artwork, these Nordic landscapes. I really like that one. I would say that that's tops. With shout outs to Strixhaven and Dominaria as well.
Would you consider yourself an aggro guy? You an aggro player?
Yes, definitely. I mean, I can play anything, but for sure, aggro decks are my favorite, especially in constructed formats. That's strongly what I lean towards.
It's a good strategy, and it's also very good in limited. Like when all else fails, you just play aggro, and that works pretty well.
Exactly. That's what you do with your sealed pool when you don't open too many rares.
Yeah, you just go, how fast can I do it? And I go, oh, I went 2-1. It's not bad for like my
Yeah.
my aggro sealed pool. Not bad at all. Well, the league had a lot of questions for you, so we're going to see how many of these we can get through before we run out of time. And I got to start with Johnny's because you kind of already talked about it. How'd you get into the game? How'd you get out of the game? And what brought you back?
Yeah, so I mentioned that I was gifted a starter deck as a child, got really enraptured by it, had a best friend who I played with a lot, got to high school, had a few people that I played with, was pretty into it, and then beyond that, continued going to the pre-releases. Absolutely loved the sets that came out at that time. This was around like Mirrodin block,
Oh yeah.
original Kamigawa block.
Oh,
Really enjoyed
classics.
those. And then yeah, yeah. So some great ones. And then I think I had fewer and fewer friends play it. And then at the same time, the game store scene. I'm from Albuquerque, New Mexico, and like at that time, it was dwindling a little bit. And I distinctly remember, Time Spiral, which is a great set, by the way. But I remember they had the pre-release, not at the game store, but at a cross town in this hotel convention center that like took forever to get to. And I went like did that. I think I was either by myself or I had one other friend. And at that point, I was like, what, like maybe there are other hobbies. Maybe there are better things for me. And then after as far as picking it back up, of course it's COVID pandemic, everyone was stuck inside. I remember one of my friends was talking about getting on Magic Arena. I'm like, oh, is that available? Like, can I do that now? And sure enough, just picked it up and got hooked right back in. Needed something to do and certainly found it there.
You saw my face light up. I lived in Albuquerque for 5 years.
Oh, you did?
I love Albuquerque. Albuquerque is, I've lived all over the United States. Albuquerque is my favorite place I've lived. I loved Albuquerque.
Oh yeah, it's great. That's my hometown representing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
No, man, that's actually, I started playing Magic when I lived there in like 2014, 2015. I used to work for
oh,
Channel 4, KOB News, my
oh
friend.
yeah, KOB. Yeah.
Me and Tom, I actually know Tom Joel. Still stay in touch with Tom Joel if you
Wow.
remember him.
Yeah,
Oh
I do.
boy, I got some Albuquerque stories for you, but I can't tell them here. That's not what this show's about. But I want to talk to this guy about Albuquerque now. I miss the green chili so much. I still get them flown in.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
every day.
oh yeah, I'm so jealous, man. They're the best, just the best food. So, oh my gosh,
Absolutely.
I got to really try hard to not talk about Albuquerque now. um, Miranda L would like to know, what is the most diabolic machine?
It's probably capitalism. The society that keeps people down and working for long hours for short wages. Yeah, I would say that's probably the most diabolical machine.
I love it. Oh boy, what a real life answer. I say this as we both were like rushed to record right after we both got off work, so we're feeling that struggle
Exactly.
today. Uh, Lotta would like to know, what's your favorite deck you've ever built, either in limited or in constructed?
Yeah, so I have a bit of a story here.
Yeah,
So yeah, I made it to the Pro Tour once, or the online Pro Tour, as it were. It was around Kaldheim Standard. I was mostly playing constructed at the time, and built a mono white deck that was doing pretty well on the ladder. And it was I took a little bit of the stock standard mono white deck, and yeah, I made some adjustments that turned out to be really pretty crucial and decisive. I'm proud to say. So at the time, Star City Games was operating some competitive tournaments online. This is pandemic era 2021. So I entered a qualifier thinking, what the heck, I'll do it, maybe things will be okay. Went 5-1 in the qualifier, made it to the Sunday big tournament. And I
congrats.
entered, and I remember I told my now wife, I'm like, like I'm just doing this thing. Like we're gonna see how it goes. But I don't know what time I'll be done, but maybe sometime in the afternoon. And I kept playing, and I just kept winning and winning and winning, and then made it to top 8 and eventually won the whole thing, won this
Wow,
SCG qualifier for the Pro Tour.
congrats.
So this was the Strixhaven Championship. So I qualified for that. And then yeah, that was standard and historic, and I tested for that. Studied really hard. Unfortunately, didn't do that well. Washed out on day one. That's to say the favorite deck that I built. It was mono white standard.
Oh,
In Kaldheim, some of the key adjustment that I made that actually the meta copied it at the time because I won this SCG tournament. A lot of people were playing Usher of the Fallen in the 1-drop spot,
yeah.
and instead I took it out and put in Stonecoil Serpent, which
Ooh,
it's X mana, XX reach and trample. And my thing was, other than turn one, every other turn that you want to cast this, Stonecoil is better. It wears the counters well from Luminarch Aspirant, which was a
hmm,
key card in the meta at the time.
yep.
And so that allowed me to really go big in the later game. It also had protection from multicolored, which was not trivial.
Oh,
It's got a lot of lines decks in there that are important. So
Yeah, trample. I think it's
yeah,
got trample too.
trample. Yeah,
it's got all kinds of
exactly.
stuff.
Yeah, that was one. That was big in the mirror matches. A lot of people were playing the Archon of Absolution, and so
Mm-hmm.
but the Stone Coil could attack through it.
Oh,
So
Archon. Ooh, pro
yeah,
white, tough.
yeah. It was a hoser card in the mirror, but yeah. So that mono white standard deck in Keldheim that won me the Star City Games qualifier was definitely the best, most favorite deck that I built.
Awesome. That is so cool. What an accomplishment, man. Congratulations. Um,
Thank you.
Raphael F would like to know, what is your favorite color combination to play and why? I'm gonna guess it's Rakdos, but
No,
please.
I would say Boros,
Yeah.
or mono white or mono red. I just like being really low to the ground and being quick and attacking. I mean, nothing against black, and in this particular pool, that really worked out for me. But I think, yeah, I love just getting the game over quickly with big loads of creatures.
Raph's an aggro player too. You guys will get along. And Justin P code pitching. You guys should all form a aggro super group and just mow people over. Jack H. Rakic, what is your favorite 2/5? Now, this is a creature with 2/5 power toughness, not a 2 out of 5 on the Cloud Blazer scale. You got a favorite 2/5, Joaquin?
I think so. Yeah. Back to Kaldheim Limited. There's a card, Frostfire Arcanist.
Yeah.
It's a 4 and a blue 2/5 that if you have it gets you back a instant or sorcery. It has the same name as another instant or sorcery in
Oh,
your
yeah, yeah.
graveyard. So yeah. I think I would have to go with that one. Also, I've been jamming some Cons of Tarkir, not doing that well, but Salt Road Patrol is another fun one.
There's a couple good 2/5s. I like the I don't remember the name, but it's the 2/5 reach morph creature. Oh boy, I play that thing in any
Oh yeah, Sagu Archer.
Yeah, I love the 4 or 5 color morph decks, and like that thing goes in all of them. Like I just love all my morph decks. Let's see what we got next. Do you have a favorite? It's from Duncan M. Duncan came on the show last week, also in the top 8 right now with you. Do you have a favorite non-magic hobby or pastime?
Yeah, I really like to bake. That's another thing that I got into during the pandemic. I make bread.
I love this guy. I was a
uh,
baker at Slate Street Cafe on Slate Street in Albuquerque,
oh,
New
really?
Mexico.
In Albuquerque? Yeah,
Yeah.
I know it.
Yeah, I worked.
That's
I
awesome.
used to bake there for their brunches and stuff on Sundays. I made their cupcakes. I loved it.
Oh, that's great. Oh, good stuff. Yeah, I've got a sourdough starter at home. I bake loaves of bread. I like to do cookies and cakes. Like that's definitely one of my favorite things to do. Also like running. That's come down a bit. I've done a couple of marathons, but I'm definitely not in that kind of shape right now. But I do like to run for exercise.
Oh my gosh, this guy's active. This guy's baking bread. He's running off the carbs. He's doing it all. That's awesome. If anybody wants a good recipe, can they come to you and ask you for like a recipe about something?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm certainly no expert, especially. I think bread is my biggest wheelhouse, but I'm happy to help the best I can.
I love it. Someone bring your bread stumpers to Joaquin. See if you can stump him with a bread recipe, or just get a nice bread recipe from him. He sounds like he knows what he's doing. All right, our last question is going to come from Lotta, and it's a stumper. It's a lot stumper, not a Steve stumper. Are you ready to get stumped?
I saw this question ahead of time, and I'm not quite sure I know the answer, but I will give it my best shot.
I don't know that Lot knows the answer, but they gave me what she thought it was. So we're gonna see because she used a gray bordered card in here, or not gray, silver bordered card, which those get tricky, and this is a weird one. So Sevti attacks with a diabolic machine. Your name does come from a magic card, right? That's what it's.
Yes, that was a good catch. It's a magic card, and for context on this question, it's a terrible magic card, but it was in that 5th edition pack that I opened as a kid, so really happy.
That's awesome.
It is a 7 mana artifact creature. It's a 4/4, and then for 3 mana it can regenerate.
Oh boy, how far we've come. 7 mana 4/4s. These days you get a 4 mana 7/7, right? I mean, come on. But Sevti attacks with a diabolic machine that's equipped with a spy kit. The machine gets blocked by a stone cold basilisk. Sevti's opponent then casts a lightning bolt targeting the machine, to which Sevti responds by activating the regeneration ability. Does the Diabolic Machine survive the turn?
So I believe it does not. Now, should we give the listeners context on those cards, or just...
I feel like we can try to give context because these cards are pretty weird. So Diabolic Machine, you said it, 7 mana, 4/4, pay 3 to regenerate it. Spy Kit, equipped creature has +1/+1, and all names of non-legendary creature cards in addition to its name. That's not silver bordered. That's a weird card. Yeah, that's not so weird. Stone Cold Basilisk, whenever it blocks or becomes blocked by a creature with fewer letters in its name, destroy that creature at the end of combat. And then Lightning Bolt, Raph knows this one. 1 mana, deal 3 to any target.
Yeah.
And then whenever an opponent reads Stone Cold Basilisk, that player is turned to stone until the end of the turn. Stoned players can't attack, block, or cast spells.
Yeah, fun stuff. So I think it's a perplexing question, right? Because the Diabolic Machine, you equip the Spy Kit, it gives it +1/+1. Now it's a 5/5, but it also has the names of every non-legendary creature.
Yes.
So it attacks. It gets blocked by the Stone Cold Basilisk. And then, it goes to resolve damage. It deals 2.5 because the Stone Cold Basilisk has 2.5 power.
I forgot that part. It's got 2.5 power.
Then Sevti's opponent casts a Lightning Bolt, which would be lethal damage, but Sevti activates the regenerate ability. So the Diabolic Machine does not die when it would die from damage. But then at end of combat, I believe, I don't know if they resolve together, but I believe at end of combat, Stone Cold Basilisk's ability resolves, and it would destroy Diabolic Machine if it has fewer letters in its name than Stone Cold Basilisk. Now, that's the catch, because Stone Cold, it has the names of every non-legendary creature card. So does it have more, or does it have fewer? Now, I believe that it has fewer because it has many names of cards that are fewer than Stone Cold Basilisk. Like, if it was worded the reverse, if it was saying destroy that card unless it has more letters in its name, then the Diabolic Machine would probably survive. But it's destroy it if it has fewer, and it has many names that have fewer, including its own. So I think it would be destroyed, but it's a toughie for sure.
Ding, 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 ding. Welcome, Joaquin, to the winner's circle. You got it correct. This is from Lata. Lata says, she believes that the machine does not survive, but it would if you regenerated it a second time. And she says this is notably different from Death Touch. So yeah, you got it. It doesn't survive.
All right.
And if you were to regenerate it a second time, yeah, it might. It would. I think. Again, these are very weird cards. But yeah, congratulations. You got it right.
Thank you. And thanks, Lotto, for the question.
And you got it right with like the right way of talking through it. You didn't get it right by kind of just being like, I don't know, I think
Thank you, Dad.
Yeah, because it's 50-50, right? You either get it right or you don't. But no, you got it, Joaquin.
Thanks.
Well, that's gonna wrap up the interview. Thank you so much for coming on the show this weekend for everything you've been doing in the league, man. How did you find the league? This is only your third one. You're like newish.
It was actually a friend. The Neon Dynasty was a team league.
Yeah.
And so I had a friend who I don't know how he heard about it. One of my good friends said, "Hey, you want to sign up for this league? You want to play?" And I said, "Sure, it sounds fun." We played, we did okay, washed out, and then he didn't stick with it, but I did. So
hey,
yeah,
that's so cool, man.
It was a great idea.
And that was his first league too? Was that one?
Yeah, it
cool.
was. I'll have to see if he'll come back.
Yeah, man, you should be like, hey, man, I'm in there. I'm tearing this thing up now. They're having me on the podcast. Like, you got to come in now. I'm a big deal now, Get them in. But hey,
good stuff.
Congrats on how well you've been doing. Try to lock this thing up. I hope you get your first mega draft here coming, and I hope you have a great week 6, man. Go out there and crush it.
Thanks, John. Yeah, really appreciate it. Thanks for having me on. This is a pleasure.
Hey, happy to do it. And again, thanks for coming on yourself. So cool. I love talking to Joaquin. I was super happy to learn he was from Albuquerque. I want to talk to him about chilies. I want to talk to him about roses. I want to talk about him. I want to talk to him about the Sandias Mountains in the evening. So many things I miss from Albuquerque. That's where I started podcasting. That's where I started doing improv comedy. And that's where I started playing Magic. So a lot of who I am and how you know me originates from there. And it's just a beautiful, wonderful place. So happy to run into somebody else from who's in that area. Not from there. I lived there a short time. But man, he's what a great guy. Like, what a great player. Ask him for a bread recipe. I hope he's got some ready. And he made it through lots of Stumper. You know, like that's not an easy thing to do. I'd really love to see him top 8 and get a mega draft, because it's only his 3rd league, and he's doing so great. And he was so nice. He was so nice to talk to. I love seeing new people. I love seeing new people do the mega draft format. I'm always rooting for him. Not only to make it, but to win. You know, to win your first mega draft, it's not an easy feat to do. To even get there is like kind of an honor. So I hope you do well the rest of the way, Joaquin. And good luck out there, man. And congratulations on how well you've been doing. Congratulations to Chris P for his 5-0 when I went 5-0 this week, and I did. I actually got a bunch of really nice messages from people saying, "Hey, John, good way to go. Hey, John, you're giving me hope that when I'm on my way out in the league, I can maybe turn it around." I actually got a bunch of really nice messages, and I just want to say thank you. I really appreciate it. They were all so nice, and I need to start messaging people when they get 5-0s. Like, Chris P, that must feel so good, and like, congrats, man. Good on you. It's not easy to do that. I guess I congratulate them on the show. That's kind of what I do. But still, I love it, this community, and how people are there for each other, and everything's so positive. It makes me feel so good. Almost as good as going 5-0, right? But not everyone can go 5-0. We do have our off weeks. I've 0-5 before. You can too. Let's go ahead and let's say goodbye to those who are no longer with us as we go to the land of the lost. Kevin I, Knee 1993. Joe T, Elasticity. Paul G, The Dragon. Emmett F, Sepulture. Michael M, Atom Bomb. Miranda L, Black Canary. Ron C, Lenore. Damian S, Butt Crack Magic. Nicholas K, Bionic. Thane H, Thidgen. Steve T, Strout. Jack H, Rakic. Jordan V, Romnor. I like that one. That sounds fun. Wei C, Azayaka. Evan C, Peas of Crab. Ryan D, The Slickness. Paul S, Young Chunk. And that's going to do it for the show this week. That's going to do it for us covering Lost Caverns of Ixalan here. We have cons starting up in about 2 weeks. Next week, this is special, and this is the announcement right here. I will announce it on the server probably sometime this weekend once I put a little bit more thought into it and lock some more things down. But next week, me, Goku, Go Home, joined by Adam S., currently in 4th place, Wisma. We're going to do the AGL Awards, the Arena Gauntlet Awards, all the polls that Adam's been doing. We're going to do a little live award show. We're going to announce the winners. You know, I'm going to sing a song. I really encourage everyone to come out to be a part of it. It's these things, I've only done one before. It was a blast. I let the audience unmute. They can talk. They can say things. I want people to come. If you are nominated for something or you're passionate about something that was nominated, come on down, because I want people to accept the awards as Adam reads the winners. Come on down. If you are Raph and there's a straight hands emoji nomination, you might win. Come on down, because I want to hear your acceptance speech. And I just want to have a good time with the league, wrap up the year in a fun way with Adam. I'm going to do it live, and then I'll put it out as the podcast for next week. So if you're not there live, don't worry about it. I'll post the date and the time sometime this weekend. It'll be some night coming up, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, something like that. And then it's super fun. So come on down. We're going to do a live show, Hunt the Week Live, Arena Gauntlet League Awards with Adam S. Find out all the fun answers to all the polls he's been doing over the last couple weeks. I can't wait to see what they did. I can't wait. And that's going to do it for the show this week, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for playing. Get your games in. It's week 6. Caleb should post the primer. Look at Adam posted a thing about how week 6 is different. Week 6 is different. Be prepared. If you're in top 8, if you're in the top 16 and you're new, Duncan, Joaquin, Xiao, they're not new. They've been doing pretty well. But anybody else, if you haven't gone to week 6, it's a little different. Please ask around. Help yourself. You don't want to be stuck holding holding games and losing to entropy, because entropy comes for everyone in week 6. You cannot avoid it. Until then, I hope you get to keep a good 7 and that shuffler is in your favor. And we'll see everyone here next week for the live show. Bye, everybody. Cool. We have started. Well, I'm gonna bring you on. I do the hey, we're discovering.
Yeah. You're gonna do the intro to the weekend.
I do the intro. You come on, and then we kind of just go for it, man. It's fun. It's a good time. Again, and Joaquin.
Yeah, Joaquin. Yes,
Joaquin.
Exactly.
Like Joaquin
Yeah.
Phoenix. I can't.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I might introduce you as Joaquin just for a joke, but yeah, Joaquin. I get it. But cool.
Sure.
Yeah, cool. Let's have a good time, man.
All right, man. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, John, right?
Yeah, Johan.
Johan.
John. John's perfect.